This live event coverage is brought to you by Wholebeing Institute, an educational organization focusing on learning and living the science of human flourishing. Take a free week-long course on positive psychology at wholebeinginstitute.com/7-day. Hi, I'm Christina Suzama with YogaHub.tv here at the Faces, Wisdom, and Compassion Conference in San Diego, California on this gorgeous, gorgeous day. And with me is a dear, dear friend that we've finally gotten to meet, Megan McDonough, who is now the CEO and co-founder of Wholebeing Institute. Hello, Megan.
Hello, dear friend. I can't tell you how great it is to be here looking you in the eye and saying hello.
Isn't it amazing after so many years of not seeing each other to finally meet each other face to face?
This is the power of virtual connections. That for 10 years we have been connecting and making a difference over the web, and now to be able to do that in person and see each other in person, we can create connections over the web that are very strong, as you and I can attest to.
Absolutely, absolutely, and hence this new world that we're all creating now, right?
Exactly.
So we're here today. Can you tell our audience how you're affiliated with Faces?
Sure. So Wholebeing Institute is an educational organization that focuses on whole person well-being. And one of the things that we tend to focus on is mindfulness. That's a key tool in what we teach. So this conference is all about mindfulness, specifically for therapists and, obviously in therapy. So when we looked at the audience that Faces serves, with the tools that they serve them with, it was a perfect match and it made every sense to be here.
That's amazing, of course, and mindfulness. And I think these days there seems to be a huge paradigm shift of people becoming more mindful and knowing that that is becoming a way of life now.
Well, I would hope so. There's certainly been a lot of research about the power of being mindful, of paying attention to the life as it unfolds. And many times we're on automatic, that the habits that we use throughout the day become habits of a lifetime. And so we begin to miss the rich textures of our lives because we get these habits that get deeply embedded into our brain and our psyche and how we behave, so we miss the texture of life. And mindfulness helps re-engage us, bringing our attention to what's happening now, like looking at a beloved friend in the eye.
That's amazing, isn't it? Megan, can you tell our audience about Wholebeing Institute?
I'd love to. So as I said, we're an educational organization, but we're one without walls. So the way I like to think about it is, just-in-time learning to really focus on the art of human flourishing. So we're an evidence-based organization, which means the courses that we roll out are based on research and in science. And in doing that, we can allow ourselves to learn from science and then apply it to our own life so that we can live life more fully. We're a combination of an online program and do on-site work as well. So we have some blended learning programs and we have some on-site programs and online programs.
Well, that's wonderful, Megan. Can you give us an idea of some of your programs that you are doing at this moment?
Sure. The most foundational and one of my personal favorites is the Certificate in Positive Psychology. This is our foundational program because it's a long-term positive change aspect. So it's a 12-month program. It has 10 modules, 2 of which are on-site, 8 of which are online.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because if you're going to instill change over a long period of time, it's not just learning about it, but it's actually engaging in habits and behavior change that support you in the direction that you wish to head. So we're very fortunate in that my co-founder, Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, is one of the leaders in positive psychology. He created the curriculum, and the curriculum is really looking at the whole person well-being. And when you look at well-being, there's lots of different ways to define it. We actually look at it through 5 specific paradigms or perspectives. We use the acronym SPIRE. So spiritual, which is meaning, purpose, and mindfulness. Physical, how are you using this physical container to really accentuate well-being? Intellectual, which is engagement and curiosity and interest and inquiry. R is relationship, how are we relating not only to ourselves but to each other? And then emotional well-being, how are we really increasing positive emotions? And also being able to pull on and build resilience when the difficult times come. So the certificate in positive psychology is all about how do we really build the best in us and reach for our highest and best self, our ideal self, while being grounded in the reality of today. So it's both a grounding and a reaching. I like to think of it as building our roots about who we are and also allowing ourselves to have wings to reach for more.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that acronym SPIRE. I wish they would promote that in schools.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so I like to look at the school and say, what are we teaching our children? What do we most want our children to learn? And, when Marty Seligman asked educators all over the world about this, he's really the father of positive psychology. The answer is, I want my children to be happy. But yet we don't teach that in school. Yes. We don't teach the science of well-being and happiness in schools. So if we as parents and people who care for youngsters want those people to grow up to be happy and to be happy now, there's a science to that. There's something we can teach and give and provide in order to have the skills to help us grow into happierness. Because we don't actually we don't get happy and stay happy. It's a moving state. So it's not like something we're going to get and own and possess. It's a process by which we grow into being happier on a daily basis. Does that make sense?
It's a practice.
It's exactly, it's a practice. It's a practice. And I'd also say it's an orientation. Whatever's going on in a day, you can bring your mindfulness to it and then make choices throughout the day that help orient yourself towards a desired state. So it's not ignoring the truth of what's happening now. It's not just putting on a happy, smiley face. It's not happyology, in other words. Everything is great. It's not a happyology. It's really acknowledging the truth of what's happening now and then making choices to orient you in the direction that you'd like to head.
That's wonderful, Megan. And so now these courses, they take place on the East Coast?
Yeah, well, here's the exciting part. For years we've been running the Certificate in Positive Psychology, which we like to call SIP, out on the East Coast. It's been very successful. We've had full sold-out classes. And this year, 2016, for the first time ever, we're bringing it to the West Coast. We're really excited to come out to the West Coast in the warmth, yes. And it's the only place in the world we're going to hold it for 2016. So we do one a year. This year, it's in the West Coast in California.
Oh, very exciting on our neck of the woods. Yes. And are you planning on bringing it globally as well?
We're also in Australia because we have the core faculty, which is Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, Dr. Maria Sawar, and myself, as well as Phoebe Atkinson, who does a lot of the team-based work. We have a core group of people, and then we have a core group of teaching assistants that hold the student space. And because of that, we really focus on not quantity, having a ton of these, but having the quality of basically one a year. And when you look at online classrooms, what's interesting is that some people think you can take the content that you might do on site and put it into a virtual classroom, and there you're done. It's not the case. In order to really integrate the teachings, you've got to hold the student experience online, just like you would hold the student experience on site. Yes. So it's a very in-depth course on how we hold the student experience. So we only do one a year.
That's wonderful. I think this the power of blended learning, and I agree with you. Whereas if it's just virtual, there's a slight disconnect that can still happen. But so what you're saying is, with your course, they meet at the beginning and at the end. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So they start online. They'll take Module 1 online. That's a 5-week course in the Introduction to Positive Psychology. That's the first module. The second module is a 5-day immersion, which is the place where you get into small groups. So we have a rather large group, about 200 people, come through the course. We break them into groups of 6. They choose who they'd want to be, or we use serendipity to choose what group they're going to be in. And then they stay with that cohort for the entire year. So between connections with the teaching assistant, connecting with the faculty, and connecting with each other, it helps set into action some of the things that you're learning. So you're not just sitting at your desk learning and watching a video. You're actually then taking that and creating for yourself a 30-day practice that you want to start. You're working in forums with other people. You're working with your small group so that you have the support in an ecosystem that helps you grow.
Very, very nice. Wow, I want to do this.
Come along. We'd love to have you.
Now, Megan, so for the people watching right now, and they might be interested, I mean, is there a certain, do they have to be qualified, certified doctors or therapists, or can they just be a mom like me?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't say just a mom like you, just a mom, as if, mom is one of the most important jobs we can have. I think the question is it just for personal growth or is it just for professional growth? And actually, it's a false separation between personal and professional. We think we can neatly cleave what goes into our personal life and what goes into our professional life. What we find is that about 55% of the people that come through SIP say they do it for personal growth. And yet they use this in professional settings. So, and we have people who come in who say they want it for professional reasons, but find that the personal growth ends up being very important, if not more so. Yeah. So we have coaches and therapists, yoga practitioners, psychologists. We do have doctors in the healthcare field. The healing professions come through as well. So basically, it's anyone that wants to learn the science of human flourishing.
So it's open to everyone who would like to learn.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, you're invited.
Thank you. I'll be there. So, Megan, can you let our audience know the best way to be in touch or find out more information?
Do visit us on the website, wholebeing-institute.com. And if you're interested specifically in SIP, it's wholebeing-institute.com/CIPP.
There you go. There you have it. Thank you so much, Megan McDonough. It's been so wonderful to interview you.
Thank you. It's been wonderful to be here with you. I feel very happy we're together.
Yes. Thank you. I'm Christina Suzama with YogaHub.tv, and you've heard it all. I mean, doesn't this course sound absolutely magnificent? If you are interested, wholebeinginstitute.com. Go there and check it out. Thank you so much, and until next time, namaste.
Really fascinated by the overall sense of culture that we developed within our organizations. And as I read more and become more fascinated about it, I learned about there was an entire discipline in science around positive psychology, and that's what led me to explore what are some of the learning opportunities that are available for those interested in positive psychology, and was so grateful to learn about the Wholebeing Institute and the certificate class, which is a year-long program that I was very, very quick to sign up for.